All right, welcome to Money Never Sleeps. This is the show where we talk about anything and everything that impacts the flow of money from around the corner to around the world. And today we're talking about cryptocurrencies. We're talking about SPACs. We're talking about NFTs in the digital future. A lot of things going on, a lot of news over the weekend, a lot of activity. You have Bitcoin, ready to burst through 60,000. You have Visa, and they just basically set it up that they're allowing the cryptocurrency USD to settle transactions. Okay. This is something that Ripple was doing with MoneyGram that was allowing them to settle transactions quicker. Okay, which made everything move quicker. It was cheaper to do everything else. Visa is doing it now. And this is just the beginning. USD, that's a stable coin. All right. So it allows them to do stuff without having the risk of fluctuations in the price of the coin. So there's utility out there for cryptocurrencies. Not all of them, but you have the ones that do have the utility. And again, the utility depends on basically what the adoption is, right? If you have something that's mass adopted, basically the utility is going to be stronger and it'll grow substantially. If the utility is not as grand, it can still grow. The project can still grow. Everything can still move along the path and basically they can make the utility of the project of the coin a lot stronger over time. So you do see Visa doing stuff, as I said, Dalio, basically, saying that, just like when they prevent the people from owning gold in the United States, way back when, you could not own gold. It was illegal to own gold. So his point is, if Bitcoin is like digital gold, that the U.S. government can go in and ban it. You have other countries that have banned the use of cryptocurrency. Had they banned their citizens from getting involved with it, is that going to happen in the United States? I doubt it. You have too much activity, too many things going on. I believe that any regulation that is going to come forth, it has to be vibrant. It has to be robust because this is a growing. Right now, the cryptocurrency market is in its infancy, and it's going to settle in. A lot of the nonsense is going to wind up disappearing, and basically, the ones that have the utility, that have uh, a use for it, these are the ones that are going to stay. Now, NFTs. I want to slip into that before we go into SPACs. NFTs. You have a lot of these things happening now. It's like the flavor of the month. You have a lot of non fungible tokens being issued. You have these digital artists, or these artists that are going out, and these celebrities and athletes, and basically they're going out and they're saying, "Oh my God, we can go capitalize on this and that, and go sell." A digital piece of art or a digital version of what I have for $1 gazillion, so on and so forth. When you got John Cleese coming in and looking to do something like that as well, it becomes interesting because you have to look at the big picture here. Okay, now with NFTs, the most interesting part of it is first, when an NFT is issued, it represents one item. And that's the problem. And I wrote an article about it. That's the problem that I see is it represents one thing, one solitary thing. Nothing wrong with that. It gives truth to the situation. What I have an issue with is, what does that do? So you own that particular item. Now, if it's a print, if it's meant to be multiple pieces, multiple NFTs for one item, then that's something completely different, because you wind up having a collectible. And is it going to accrue in value? Yeah, I guess it depends on how they do it. If you're buying an original piece of art, here goes my problem. You're buying an original piece of art, and you purchase it, just like with people, the $69 million deal. Um, the bottom line is, as the owner, you should have all rights to reproduce it, all rights to license it out, all rights to do whatever you want, burn it if you want to. Okay, you should have all rights to do that. And something, when you give people that ability, they buy it, they own it, they do whatever they want to do with it. The bottom line is, just like if you're buying a piece of art. If I buy a piece of art, it's a one of a kind. That means it's not going to be reproduced again. All right, I own it. That means I can do anything I want with it. Okay, I can make prints. I can monetize it as much as I want, and that's the beauty of that I see of having the right type of NFT. If you can monetize it, then it's good, and it's good for the artist too, because now their work's getting out a little further. Okay, don't know if a lot of artists are doing that. Don't know if a lot of NFTs are even allowing that. I think that the ones that do are the ones that are going to shine brightest. You have to look at all that. And the one thing about NFTs, and you have to do your research. You have to do your research, because you have NFTs, and when you have it, again, it doesn't trade. It doesn't trade like a cryptocurrency. You have a transaction that happens. It registers on their blockchain. It may register as well on Ethereum on their blockchain, or whatever backbone it's on. It doesn't have to necessarily be Ethereum. Don't make that mistake. It doesn't necessarily have to be Ethereum. It can be another backbone that it's on. So now that happens. Okay, when you have that, block, it has certain information in there. Okay, it has your key code on there. It has the link to the artwork. Okay, and this link to the artwork, you better hope that it works. you know 9 times out of 10, I'm sure you're not going to have an issue with it. The only problem that I see is that if you have the original piece and you have it online, and there's a code and there's everything there with it, okay, that's the most secure you can be with it. you know but if the way that the links are now, and there's a whole system that they have in place, basically, you could, there's a possibility that in 6 months, a year, in 2 years, in 3 years, whatever it is, that link's not going to work anymore. It's possible. And then what do you have? You have an NFT that you bought, and you don't have the item. So other protocols have to be put into place to make this better. It is not the best system, but it will get better. Same way with Bitcoin. It wasn't the best system, but you have the passionate people around it. And what did they do? They started building infrastructure around it. That's why you have Coinbase, you have other platforms that help to make it better, help to make it more robust. And you're going to see this type of thing with NFTs, and that's going to help to keep people safe, make people feel comfortable when they're doing something. They know that they're not going to wind up losing it. Okay, it can happen. So just, if you're looking to buy an NFT, just do your research. I know I've seen NFTs with athletes, and they're animated cards and so on and so forth. This is, I mean, Tops was doing this for a long time, but they weren't using an NFT type of situation. They had something internal, which I'm sure if they wanted to turn it into that, they could, and that would make it a lot better for them. But the reality is, they were not late to the game with that. They just didn't get involved in blockchain. Which, if ever they do, then Tops is going to be the main player in the digital space for sports cards. I'm just saying. Let's see what happens there. But now with cryptocurrency, as I said, the ones that have the utility, especially when you talk about NFTs, if you have one that has a utility, has a strong backbone, NFTs can be, linked into it to have transparency. And I believe that Ethereum's not the only show in town. You'll have other ones that'll be as secure, as stable, that'll give different opportunities out there to different groups. As a digital artist, Don't think that you're going to jump into the NFT game and it's like, oh my God, I'm going to go make $1 gazillion because people are throwing money at this. You have to understand that there's a lot more involved with it, and whatever organization you're dealing with, they have to do the marketing and so on and so forth to help you to do that. No, not everyone's going to have that $60 million payday that people had. You're going to have, if you have an original piece, hopefully, it grows in value for you, for the buyer. Anyway, enough of the NFTs and crypto. SPACs. Oh, wait, got to go back. Okay, something that Cathie Wood said about Bitcoin. She said, Bitcoin is there's a lot more growth to happen. Okay, and it's getting very interesting. Not my words, her words. You can look at and go onto Bloomberg or something like that, and you can see what she said. I just thought it was interesting that someone on that level that has beat the S&P, that beat the market, beat every other money manager on the street time and time again, is now looking at that. But then again, Jack Dorsey and Square and the CFO of Square and a lot of other groups have been strong supporters of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and now they're seeing the glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel. And it's going to be very interesting. Very interesting. All right, now we can go into SPACs. SPACs a million. You have SPACs coming out. I think you have anywhere from 3 to 15 SPACs coming out a week. A lot of them are they're coming out because there's so much dry powder around, and you have just so much money that's there and that has to be put to work. The thing is with a SPAC that the SPAC sponsor, you have they have 24 months to get a deal done, but don't think for a second that when they're doing this that they don't have an idea of what they want to do. Okay, they do, but you have a lot of SPACs out there that have a lot of money sitting there doing nothing. Investors, don't want to sit there for 24 months and then get nothing out of it. So things are going to start happening. You're going to see a lot of companies coming public that you never thought would go public. You never heard of probably that'll wind up going public because the SPACs are hungry for growth. They're hungry to deal with good people that are basically in growth mode. And if they catch those companies early on, the investors in the SPACs, they will do extremely well. What was happening for a while, people were gambling. They were buying SPACs, not knowing what they were going to do, and they were trading it up. Wrong thing to do. If you believe in the SPAC sponsor, if you believe in who's putting it together, I'm sure you can do that. But if you don't know what they're going to get involved with, it's a gamble. It's a gamble. So SPACs usually come out at about $10. I mean, they can go to 950, they can go to 1150, in that range, which is fine. When they start going 20, 30, $40, that's a problem because you have no idea what they're going to be involved with. So I think we're going to see that stabilization as far as pricing is concerned as more people enter the market and they understand what a SPAC is and what it can do. Okay, and as I said, you're going to see a lot more companies coming to market that you never thought you would see or that you never heard of before. So just be on the lookout for that stuff. It's going to be interesting because some of these companies will sneak up on you that are gems. They're gems, but you've never heard of them. So you're going to see that happening, and we're going to see a lot more of it. A lot of SPACs coming, a lot of companies that are looking for those great partners. So connecting them, yeah, it's something that's going to get done. You have people that are doing that now, and I think we're going to see more of that happening. All right, and the digital future is bright. Let me end with this: the digital future is bright. Whether you're in finance, whether you're in real estate, whether you're in digital art, NFTs, whether you are in any industry, medical, okay, military, whatever sector you're in, the digital future is where it's at. The companies that are in this space are going to prosper. There's going to be competition, yes, but there's going to be so much growth around. It's not like two companies that are competing for one product. You have a lot of things going on. There's going to be a lot of opportunity. A lot of companies going to sneak up on you, and all of a sudden, boom, they're in your sights. You had the opportunity, you didn't pull the trigger, then all of a sudden they're out of your grasp, and they're gone. And someone else will wind up grabbing it. And I say that when it comes to um, institutions that are looking to do deals, with growth companies. For the longest time, the ball was in their court, so like I don't know, they would go and shuffle things around, look at documents all day, and pick and choose if they liked something, if they didn't like something, if it made sense, and but they would just get such an influx of deals coming in that game is changing. The SPACs are changing their game because now the SPACs, they're going after these companies that probably been shoved aside by the investment banks, that probably have the, or brokerage firms that probably have not had the opportunity to shine. So they're going to make them shine, and they're going to be better off for it. A lot of growth, a lot of growth. All right. Anyway, digital future is bright, and you've been listening to Money Never Sleeps. I want to thank you for tuning in, and we're going to be back with you for the next episode soon enough. Thanks again, and enjoy your day.